It Fact Podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Robinson. As always, as today we have someone special. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Destiny Howell. I'm a sports manager major, psychology minor, Queens, New York, big New York. And I'm a shooting guard at Howard University.
Indeed. So with that being said, how are you doing mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Physically, I'm doing better every day. I'm feeling a lot stronger. I feel like my knee is starting to heal as fast as it can, which is really good. Mentally, I feel like I'm in a really good place. Like I've been feeling very level-headed recently, and I've just been working at keeping myself in that headspace and not taking any steps back. And I'm just figuring out like who I am and who I want to be more and more every day. Emotionally, I'm doing good as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I would say. So let's step into it. When I was doing the research, I looked and saying you won the MEAC championship, and that's real big. How was that moment for you and the preparation even going into that year 2022? How was you like, you know what? We did this, so how was that for you?
Man, every time I get asked this question, it's like it's a hard feeling to describe, but like winning the championship that year felt like a dream come true. Honestly, that was like one of the best moments of my life. And the year before that, we had a lot of people may not notice, but we had a loss to A&T, and it was a loss to a buzzer beater. So, that whole year, like we've seen on overtime, like us losing by a buzzer beater. We've seen on like ESPN, like top 10 plays, the Sports Center top 10 plays, and like it was hard to just swallow that for my first year. Like that happened my freshman year.
Yeah.
So going into my sophomore year, I knew that I wanted to be back on that platform, and I knew that I wanted to win this time around. So I always say that, like, God gave me a loss, so I would appreciate the win even more. So, you play basketball to win games, and there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes, and there's so much work that, you put into your individual game and into your team. So like winning the championship is just like the ultimate reward for that.
Indeed. I'm so proud of you for that. That's never gonna
Thank
change.
you.
Like, be a champion, you're always a champion. Like it's never gonna change.
Facts.
I still got people in my hometown like, y'all remember the year that you? I'm like, that was 2012. I'm like, what? But yeah, I remember. All right, cool. So I'll say, what is your it factor? Why do you do what you do?
I say like my it factor, like my gift to play basketball. It's my confidence, my swag that I have. Like I do what I do because I love the game. Like I really do love the game. Those people that be saying ball is life, all that other stuff, like not like ball is really life. Like
Indeed.
I mean that. I'm passionate about it. Like I do what I do because I want to be a role model for my little sisters, and I just want to be that person that my family like could be proud of. But I feel like God put me here on this earth to impact people through the game of basketball. And I felt that way for a really long time now. And, I know that I was born with a natural talent, but like what separated me from other kids was just the fact that I wanted to not only be a really good basketball player, but I wanted to do something bigger than that. And I feel like that's my it factor.
Got you. And you're already doing that. You're already
Thank you.
doing that. You at the university, granted you face adversity, we're gonna get into that question. The biggest thing I would say is the bounce back gonna be real. But even the work that you put in before this, even the video I got to do before, I'm sitting there like, she got clips on punter, clips on clips. Like, and I'm like, I can only imagine what type of student she is because she taking care of this on the court. I know she's an amazing student. So I'm sitting there like, I'm telling my wife about everybody I interview, and I'm just like, she amazing. She got it. If I was a person recruiting somebody for the WNBA, I'd be giving you a phone. I'm like, hey man, look, this is all I need you to do. Like, so I wish it was that simple, and
I wish it was too. You're not the only one, trust me.
So what went into you choosing Howard, the Mecca, man? How for school and also for basketball? Like what went into that for you?
So our process or like recruiting is different, as basketball players coming up trying to get to a college. We don't really often have the luxury of just being like, okay, I want to go to this school, so I'm gonna go to the school. Now you got to go to school where you're gonna get that full ride. You got to go to school where they really want you. So my recruiting process it started when my associate head coach, Coach BD, he came to my last game my AU season, my junior year in August. And he got my information maybe like a week after that game, and they offered me. Him and Coach Sal offered me. So at that time, like I really wasn't too educated on HBCUs, and like when I was doing my research, I found out like, oh, snap, like there really are universities that are made for people that look like me and you, which, I really wasn't aware of that at the time. And, being in a competitive AU program, it was like instilled in my brain almost that if you didn't go to like one of those high major schools, that like you ain't really make it.
Mhm.
And, I carried that weight with me going on my visit, like just through my whole recruiting process, and was kind of like, damn, like, bro, you really didn't make it.
Mm.
And that summer, I decided that I wanted to change that narrative that like, oh, you didn't make it, or you didn't go far enough, or you really didn't achieve like your goal and your dreams. So I took my official visit to Howard September, maybe like 20th, around that time of
Mhm.
2019. And instantly, like I fell in love with the campus, like the culture, the sense of belonging. New York, not really that different from DC. Like I'm used to the city life, the fast pace. Like even though DC don't got nothing on New York, let me just throw that out there.
Yeah.
DC don't got nothing on New York, but like I remember walking in the gym
Mhm.
and I'm looking up at the banners and I'm kind of like, damn, bro, you could really leave your mark here. Like you could leave here a legend. And that's just what I thought. I looked at that number 13, Sadia Adore, the last jersey that they have retired at Howard University.
Mhm.
And I remember just being like, I want to be up there next to her.
I love that. I love that. And that will lead into my next question. So November of 2023, I seen the message doing my research. You put out a message out to your family, friends, to your people you play with, coaches, that you were injured. How did you face that adversity, and how are you still facing to overcome that adversity?
That was a that was probably like one of the lowest times of my life, to keep it 100.
Mhm.
And when I first got the news that I tore my ACL, like I really couldn't even like fathom that that really happened.
Yeah.
I just had like a million thoughts racing through my head. I never had any serious injury before. And, that's a common injury for basketball. So I've seen like people go through that ACL process. And I knew that's a very long and rigorous recovery process. And it was also going to be like, life changing for me. And it was just hard to process like not playing basketball. Like I couldn't really wrap my head around that. So temporarily like losing a part of my lifestyle caused me to have like an identity crisis.
Mhm.
And basketball gave me a huge part of that, confidence and swag that I talked about earlier. And I was struggling with like my sense of purpose.
Mhm.
And without it, like I didn't know, without basketball, I really didn't know like who I was. And this was a time where like I decided to lean on my faith and lean on God and strengthen my relationship with him as well. So, I began to like overcome the feeling of defeat and helplessness when like I really started to, embody that mindset of I could see what I gained from the injury instead of what I lost from the injury. And once I had that mindset, everything was just kind of like, it was just rolling for me.
Mhm.
So, accepting like what happened and being at peace was probably like the hardest part of it all. But once I was just present in the moment and just like focusing on the step in front of me and not the whole staircase, I felt like I could fully believe in myself to come back to the game better than I left it. So every day, the process just been easier and easier.
Indeed, indeed. And you handling it in stride, because I'll be honest, man, I've been injured before, had friends that been injured, and seen people. You see it every day. It's just in part of the sport.
Yeah,
But to see that you face the journey with your faith, God ain't never gonna steer you wrong. Things happen for a reason. So
they sure do.
how you're approaching it, that let me know you're gonna be all right. Like it's not no, you ain't up here like, oh man. And when it first happened, don't get me wrong, I know I broke my ankle. I'm like, bro, I can't believe this happened. Like, what am I gonna do? And I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing that we all have to understand is, you know what? I'm gonna be okay. Like I'm gonna be able to come back and it's gonna work out. So to see where you are now, because I seen the video the other day and I'm gonna keep promoting you and seeing you
Thank
grow. It
you.
was like, look at this. I like what I see. I see the monster. I like this. This is good. Because when you come back, you're gonna appreciate it more. You're gonna be even better.
Way
So
more. Yeah.
thank you for that. I can move for that. So on to a high note. So you're a hell of a hooper. I'm gonna tell you that. You ain't that ball in life stuff. I was looking at research and I do my research. I'm sitting there like, okay, cool. I'm like, she look better than some of the men. And I'm gonna commend women's basketball too. To be honest, I don't even know men like that, college or NBA, more than I know y'all. I don't. And
That's
that's a
crazy.
lot. So
Yeah.
and say
The,
I'm gonna say it
the,
again. You're a hell of a hooper, man. So with that being said, what would it mean for you, to get that call to play in the WNBA? Let's take it there. What would that mean for you? How would you take that?
when I was 9 years old, somebody asked me what I wanted to do. What I would say was I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And they looked at me like, man, she's tripping. She gonna get a regular job and she gonna do what society's used to people doing.
Mhm.
And I've always had that dream and I knew that I could accomplish that. So to be able to play at like the highest level of professional basketball, it would honestly mean the world to me. Like that would be such a huge accomplishment for me. And it'd be the coolest thing for my 9-year-old self just to know that like you had this goal when, a lot of people didn't believe in you and you finally accomplished that.
Indeed, indeed. And I also say, man, just seeing so many amazing people come on here in college and see them make it to the NFL, different things like that. And granted, they're men. To say, I'm glad to be able to say, like, yeah, you come on the podcast, you gonna make it, man. And it's crazy because at the time, I might pray for it. Oh, it's gonna happen, and to see it happen, I'd be like, wait a minute, God, you overdid it. Like I ain't even. I knew he was gonna make it, but I ain't know it was gonna be like this. So I tell you, man, when it happens, I'm gonna cry for you, man, because that's amazing. And it's not cries of, dang, I can't believe. It's more of like, oh, she did it. She outdid. So
The joy, yeah.
I'm so joyous, man. So who is Destiny outside of the game of basketball? All that you're known for.
I feel like I'm a very like genuine and honest person, like somebody you could always, get a good laugh with. I'm real like silly and goofy once I get comfortable with you. I'm very like determined and driven for what I want to do. I feel like I'm a little stubborn, but understanding at the same time. Sneakerhead, a businesswoman, a clothing designer, and a pianist. That's what I do in my free time. I don't know if you see it in the back in the cut over there, but I could play. I could play.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah.
So you a jack of all trades. You got it all. Like, okay, I can style something, I can play the piano, and I can hoop. I'm gonna cross you up. What's up? I like that. I like that. I
Yeah.
like it. So I would say when I say the word family, what does that mean to you?
So I feel like family is not just like a lot of people have this idea of family as like, okay, this is my blood relative, like this is who I'm related to. But for me, like family doesn't necessarily have to mean that. For
Indeed.
me, family is like somebody who I could have grew up with, somebody who's been my day one, somebody who I just met, but it's been real since day one.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Somebody overall, like somebody who's just 10 toes down for you, somebody who's willing to ride for you, somebody who shows up for you when you need them. Um, somebody who loves you unconditionally and somebody who's loyal to you and respects you. So that's my definition of family.
Yes, indeed. And I feel the same way. Literally having a conversation with my boy last night about that. He's like, yeah, the family is not who you're born with. Yeah, they're your family. Yeah, that's your blood. But it's really the people that really be like, hey, bro, you good? Hey, man, how the podcast going? What you need me to do? Like, what's up? Those are the things that I think we will always take with us. And I would say, so what made you want to major in sports management? And I also see you got a mind in psychology. So you smart. Like, what made you want to do those both?
To be honest, I felt like sports management was the only major that I really could have picked just because like I said before, like ball's life. Like
Yeah,
I can't keep it 100 balls life. I can't
right.
really see myself doing anything like outside of sports.
Mhm.
So, you know, my dream is also to become a college coach. I don't know if you've seen that anywhere on the internet or anything, but that's been one of my goals as well. So I feel like sports management would best help me try and navigate through that path.
Indeed, and that also one of my questions that I wrote it out. I said, so what was I saying? I was like, once it all said and done, you walk away from your long career in basketball. That wasn't only playing; it's also coaching. I would say, what would you want to be
Yeah.
remembered for in both aspects?
Like I want to be obviously remembered as like a great player, a great coach, but an even better person. Like I want people to never forget like how I treated them.
Mhm.
I want to be remembered for leaving my legacy at Howard University for the younger generation to follow. And most importantly, like I want to be remembered for impacting people's lives through the game and having that platform, just being like an inspirational figure to the youth and just showing people that you can make it if no one thinks that you can. And, you know, your dreams could be achieved with the odds not being in your favor, because the odds weren't in my favor. And, you know, just to know that I'm even here right now doing what I love to do. And I'm not even scratching the ceiling yet.
Yeah, yeah, man. How was it growing up in Queens, New York? How was that for you?
Man, my childhood, I was bouncing around from place to place a lot. I started out born in Westbury. I had moved to Queens.
Mm,
Um, I had moved to Deer Park, moved back to Westbury, moved to Glen Cove, and then I was in Queens for a while. So,
mm,
you know, my parents split when I was 4. So, you know, I stayed with my mom, and she was a single mother, just, you know, trying to make ends meet. She actually went back to school when I was about maybe 8 or 9, something like that. And it was a full-time like nursing program. She wanted to get to be RN. And you know, that just shows like the determination that she had to show me what it means to be independent, what it means to, you know, what I just said before, with the odds not being in your favor, to just go get it. And you know, I really appreciate her from showing me that at a young age, because, you know, she was my guidance, she was my role model.
mm.
And you know, growing up in New York, it just still like this grittiness and go get it mentality that I'm forever grateful to have.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, y'all different. I respect it though.
Yeah.
Everybody I met from New York, man, I have a different respect for y'all because every lifestyle is different. I'm from the South. And people say, "Oh yeah, I'll teach you this song." So once they meet you, you like, "Wait a minute, man, you a genuine person. I really like you." And I'm like, "Hey, it comes with the territory, brother. It comes with the territory."
It sure do.
I say, you know what? No, this is one of my greatest questions I think I have wrote. And I say, why is it important to watch slash support women's basketball on all levels? And to be very honest with you, what I said earlier, I'm gonna say it on camera because I wasn't recording. Women's basketball right now and even before for me and my friends have been better than men's basketball for a long time. So why is that important?
I feel like it's important to support on all levels. Like the game is evolving every year, like just keeps getting better and better and better and more exciting. So, you know, I just feel like women's basketball is more fundamentally sound because we don't have all the athleticism that, you know, the men have. So I feel like we play the game right. And, you know, being able to watch that, I think that more people are starting to take notice, which I love that. I love that more people been supporting and just, you know, making it seem like women's basketball matters now, because I feel like a few years ago, you know, I'm even just looking at comments on like Bleacher Report and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, like why are y'all telling people to go make a sandwich? Like we should be in the kitchen. Like we not in like 2020? Like are we not in 2021? Like why is this narrative even in some people's heads?
Mhm.
So I like that, you know, I don't see as many of those comments anymore. I'm actually seeing like people praising women. So, you know, the more support we give, the more we get out of that. So,
Right. That's why I be trying to go out to everybody. I'm like every level. Let me see if I can get in touch with them because I would love to interview you all because of the fact y'all the future, man. Y'all doing things that the game needs. Y'all are pure to the game, and it's so amazing and so passionate when y'all play, man. Like I was mad at myself when I seen your highlights. I was like, "Dang, why I didn't know about her before?" Like, wait a minute, like even like I watched South Carolina and you watch even some of the bigger schools, you like, wait a minute, bro. Y'all got the same talent. Y'all good. Like what? And I'm like, you know what? I got an interviewer. So thankful. I got only a few more questions. I would say, at the end of the day, what's something you would like to be remembered for once it's all said and done outside of basketball, outside of any of that? Like, what's something you would like to be remembered for?
um, I would like to be remembered also for my clothing brand. Like, oh, she started a clothing brand in college. She was able to do that while, you know, I know you said not in basketball, but I'm just saying like she was able to do that while, you know, being a professional athlete, while being a coach. Like she just did it all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be remembered for just being able to do it all. Show people that you can do it all. There's no limit on what you could do. You set your own limits.
Love that. I love that. And just my last question would be, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I actually do. So you follow college basketball. So who you got right now winning the women's tournament?
South Carolina, South Carolina, man. It's just so amazing. Like I love the Caitlin Clark. You love hearing about it, and I have to watch her more because I'm like, okay, you hear enough about it. You like, let me see what's going on. I seen it last year. You still got beat. You can score all the points in the world. You still gonna get beat because I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Our people just gonna run the game, bro, forever. I ain't never ever gonna tell you nothing different. But seeing the women in South Carolina, it's just something different. It's very different.
I agree. I agree 100% with that. It's funny that you say that because I got them winning the whole thing too. I just don't see anybody being able to like beat them. I mean, they're undefeated right now.
Mhm,
Certain teams they've been competing. Don't get me wrong, they've been competing with them, which I love to see that too.
mhm.
But when that fourth quarter hit and it says 0-0 on that clock, I already know who's gonna win the game. I just know they got too many pieces. They got too many weapons. They got a great head coach.
He's amazing.
And
Like,
she is.
amazing, man. And I did have one more question I thought about. What are some of your goals going into this year? Yeah. Like, so what are some of your goals once you do come back, basketball?
So
What are some of your goals?
my number one goal, I feel like going into next season is to win the MEAC championship. I ended on a loss right before. So
Mhm,
going into this season, obviously before I tore my ACL, like it was straight tunnel vision. Like I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. We're gonna advance to the NCAA tournament. Like I was so focused.
mhm.
So I'm just gonna keep that same focus with a little bit more hunger now because I'm coming back off an injury. I didn't get to play a whole year, so I'm even more hungry to get back. But
Gotcha.
another goal I have is to get 1,500 points next year. I feel like I was going to hit my 1,000th in the first few games of this year. So, next year I gotta up it to 15. I feel like that's something that's achievable for me.
Mhm.
And my last goal, honestly, to be one of the best mid-major teams in the country. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people don't really take HBCU into consideration when we're talking about some of the best mid-major teams in the country. We are mid-major.
Definitely.
And more like PWIs get attention of being one of those teams. And I'm not saying that, we don't have the same opportunity because we do.
Mhm.
Therefore, we also gotta do a lot better in non-conference and just show people like this is really who we are. But I'm telling you, next year we're gonna show people that this is who we are.
But don't be there every game. You're gonna be like, this dude still posting about something. Because this don't come up
Yo,
easy.
yo, hit my phone. I could put you on the list.
Look, don't worry. Me
We
and
can
my bro,
schedule
my wife from Maryland. We be there all the time. So I got you. We got to do this in person too. And
We do, we do.
so I will say this before I do close. It just make me think because this is a great episode, man. I would say get you going on with your day. I'm gonna get you ready. How is it having people like Natasha Cloud and Asia Wilson come to y'all studio? Because I'm working on getting Natasha Cloud on the show. We be talking. I'm trying to get her. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, I was fortunate enough to meet Tosh. Like, I think we played. Actually, I don't even remember who we played, to be honest with you. But my assistant coach, Coach Jay, was like, go over there and like talk to her. And I'm sitting there like, nah, like, what you mean go over there and go and talk to her? Like, she was like, no, she's cool. Like, she's
cool
really
people.
she here for y'all. Like, she's not one of those type of celebrities if you think. So I'm like, all right. I went over there, kind of started talking to her. She already knew who I was, which was like, oh my God, like somebody I watch on TV already knows like who I am. Like,
Gonna be a bet for you. That's
so
gonna that's a
it
blessing. That's a
it was
blessing.
really cool to just, chop it up with her about basketball, about like, me going through my injury right now.
Mhm.
Because at the time, like she was injured too. So just hearing, some advice from her about how she's trying to navigate through all that, was really cool. Talked about life stuff, told me like, if I ever want to chill, like hit her phone. It's just crazy how people might have this assumption of what those type of players are like what the WNBA players are like.
Mhm.
And she just said, like, nah, throw that narrative out. Like, this is who I am. And she really presented herself to me as like a very cool, down to earth person.
Right.
Now, when I met Asia Wilson,
Mhm.
I was a little more starstruck, like Natasha from around this area. So like I've seen her before.
Uh-huh.
I've been following Asia Wilson for a minute. And I just when she walked in the gym, everybody was like, all right, like sit up straight, y'all. Like everybody was just looking at her like, oh my God, like we're meeting Asia Wilson. We're
Mhm.
meeting Asia Wilson. And I'm like, all right, when she get here, like everybody, calm down a little bit.
Uh,
Let's make her feel comfortable. So she actually came for her book tour. I don't know if you heard about her book, Dear Black Girls.
gotta get it. I definitely gotta get it.
You do.
I'm like, hey, I support everything. I don't care if it got women in it. Hey, look, I'm married. I need to know everything that I
Yeah,
need to know about women. So definitely I want to see it, man. And she's been killing it.
she
I've
has.
been paid everywhere.
Yeah, so when she came for her book tour, she decided to, stop and talk to us, which I thought was very, very, very dope because it's a lot of schools in that DC area. And if she even wanted to talk about schools in the DMV area, it's a lot of schools. So I feel like her deciding to come to Howard, like that meant a lot for us, like for Black girls. And that had a lot to do with her book, like Dear Black Girls. And she was just basically spitting a lot of knowledge, a lot of gems. Like I wish some of that conversation was recorded because
Mhm.
I left there feeling like with an extra step, I left there feeling like, okay, I'm inspired. Like I'm kind of motivated to do what I want to do even more. And I really appreciate her stopping by. We left her with some gifts. She got some Lucas and I think this little like Howard baseball jersey that we all signed. But I was fortunate enough to get a picture with her after. I had to talk to her after everybody was, in our little group.
Uh,
And I told her like I want to be where you are. I want to be in your league. So I'm gonna see you in a few years.
I love that. I love that. And look, that's a great way to close. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on the show. I look forward to working with you. I'm gonna shoot you my number, and you got my IG stuff now. And I
Yeah.
would say biggest thing is I'm gonna be shooting some stuff your way too, man. I got some stuff I need to send to you. So
Okay, I appreciate that.
I
I'll
definitely,
send I'll send you a little t-shirt too.
hey, I got you. We family now. Family now. You're part of the network. But thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Of course, you too. Thank you again.
No problem.